Hey there, welcome back to the Dream Hypothesis. Today, I want to talk about a type of dream that many people have experienced. Dreams where you're the hero. You know the ones where you're saving the day, rescuing people, defeating the bad guys. This is one of my favorite dreams because these dreams can be really fun and empowering, and they can also give us some insight into our own desires and aspirations. So, why do we have dreams where we're the heroes? Well, one theory is that these dreams reflect a desire for control and agency in our waking lives when we feel like we're not in control of our circumstances or when we feel powerless to change the world around us. Our minds might turn to these types of dreams as a way of compensating. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. Today, we're going to be talking about the dreams themselves. Because I have a hypothesis. You see, in many of these dreams, you're saving the day, you're a hero, you got superpowers. In fact, as a matter of fact, I had this dream today, this morning. Um, and many of the times, what happens is you have superpowers, ability to save the day, maybe you have flight, maybe you have super strength, maybe you have laser vision. And many of the times, what ends up happening is you may actually lose this power mid dream. So you lose the ability to fly, you lose the ability to lift heavy objects, you lose the ability to go invisible, depending on what superpower you had. And it can be very frustrating in those situations because you gotta do something, but you can't do it with the power you got. Well, you, the thing you have to do in these situations, in these types of dreams, is you have to try and do the thing that you were trying to do without your superpowers, which can be very challenging in certain points, especially if your superpower is flight. You know, being unable to fly when you need to fly. Very frustrating. It's funny, really, because many cartoons, superhero cartoons, usually portray an episode sometimes like this, where the main character loses superpowers and they have to deal with the world without their superpowers and find creative ways. Where in the cartoon, they find that they were using their superpowers as some sort of crutch to solve day to day issues that they could have just solved without their superpowers. Or maybe sometimes they're put into situations where they really need their superpowers but need to find creative ways of using the knowledge and skills they got without their superpowers to solve the situation. It's very interesting in fictional media, but when it comes to dreams, it's very frustrating. And all you really can do in these situations is either try and handle the situation without any superpowers, or let some other character in your dreams handle the situation, really. It's kind of a self humbling of yourself, I guess. You don't have the tools to deal with the situation, then don't deal with the situation until you get the tools back. Really, honestly, most of the times you can get your superpowers back if you just sit back, relax for a moment, and let them come back on their own. It's almost like if you're stressed and overworking yourself, and your superpowers like go away for a second because of that. It's like I had a dream today where I was in the world of Dragon Ball, and the new threat number 150 showed up, and I had the power to stop it. Well, actually, I had the capability of having the power to stop it, but my power was connected to a physical item that I needed to have in my hands to get the superpowers. And I didn't have that item on me, and I had to wait for it to come to me before I could become super powered. So in the meantime, I had to let the other sea fighters take care of the situation, and just like every sea fighter does, except for Goku, they got their asses handed to them. Just like always, dude. It's like a running gag in Dragon Ball at this point. Everyone gets their asses handed to them except Goku. It's really funny, really. It's only in the latest movie that Piccolo and Gohan were able to deal with the situation without Goku or Vegeta being there. But, you know, Eventually, the item came to me, and I was able to deal with the situation by transforming with that item. It was very fun, very cool situation. The enemies use smoke or something to choke people out, some smoke magic kind of stuff. I don't know, but a very helpful strategy is these dreams. Is honestly unlike the other dreams where you had to do something to get through it. And this one is just enjoy the dream for what they are. A fun and empowering escape from reality. Take some time to relish in the feeling of being a hero and use that sense of empowerment to motivate you in your waking life. It's a very fun type of experience. Everyone wants to be the hero, especially if you're a hero in an IP that you enjoy, like My Hero Academia or Dragon Ball or any in Invincible. Okay, no, I don't think anybody wants to actually be a hero in Invincible. That's a bit tragic right there. But that kind of stuff, Street Fighter, all that shit. Just enjoy it for what it is. It's one of those few tasty treats that dreams give us before we have to wake up into our mundane and boring lives. You can't be a hero in real life, but you can be a hero in your dreams. Very thing. So there you have it. A quick overview of dreams where you're the hero and what they might mean and how to deal with them. Honestly, there's no real dealing with them. It's just experiencing them. And remember, dreams are a reflection of our subconscious thoughts and desires, and they can be a powerful tool for self discovery and growth. By paying attention to our dreams and using them as a way of exploring our inner world, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and move towards a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Which, if I made this video a dream about when you're a hero and when you lose your superpowers in a dream, I'm gonna make the next one about dreams where you're the villain and you're the evil one. They can be very interesting like the hero ones, but for some people they may also be a nightmare. Depends on how you relish it. Depends on how you feel about it, but also depends on what you're doing. What kind of villainous acts you're doing. But I think that's what's gonna happen in the next video. So see you next time, ladies and gentlemen, on the Dream Hypothesis. Little side note and unrelated tangent. Well, it has a bit of a relationship. The gameplay you're watching in the background right now is Overwatch, and ironically, it's a game about heroes. Now I decided to play Overwatch 2 after like a year or two of not playing Overwatch at all. I remember I left Overwatch 1 because it transformed into something I didn't enjoy. And I decided to play this Overwatch 2, and it is less fun than I remember it being, than Overwatch 1 being. And I think there are multiple factors towards that. I don't know if it's me, but I feel like the highlight on enemies, like the red highlight to tell you it's an enemy, is really thick in Overwatch 2. I don't know if it's me or if I'm misremembering, but it feels really thick to the point that sometimes I couldn't even tell what character I was shooting at. I was just shooting at a red silhouette most of the time. And on top of that, I feel like Overwatch evolved into what was once a first-person shooter with abilities in it into a MOBA-like FPS type thing where it's more about the abilities and just shooting capabilities. And it became a very unpleasant experience. And then I saw Ramatra. Like I was fighting a Ramatra at some point. I don't know if that's gonna be in the video. Probably not. But I was fighting a Ramatra at some point, and I really, that's when it really felt like a MOBA. That felt like some League of Legends 200 years champion design right there. Like that didn't even feel like I was playing a shooter. I was playing revolver, man. I have a revolver in my hand. That's all I got. That guy was playing. I don't know. That guy was playing some 400 years of Viego action type beat, Belveth type beat on me, and I was like, yeah, this is not the shooter for me. It's like, yeah, I'm decent enough at shooting, but like this is not the shooter for me, Chief. I'm going back to playing stuff like Battlefield and Call of Duty and Halo and Team Fortress 2, cause this ain't it. This ain't it, Chief. And I think that's one of the downsides of Overwatch. Honestly, it it changed so much. It changed so much that it left the niche that it had when it came out and slotted itself into an oversaturated niche. You see, because it's not necessarily about the gameplay elements of a game. Sometimes it's about the fantasy a game uh, allows you to experience, and where before your watch had this like sci-fi, but not too ahead of it, not too in the future type elements to it with heroes in it. Like sci-fi heroes aren't way too in the future. Like many of us right now that are alive can make it to the time that Overwatch takes place in, right? And so it had a very niche of a sci-fi shooter, team-based sci-fi shooter in a very niche, and it left that niche into it's like stepping a toe. It's not the whole foot. It's not entirely into the genre, but it's like has one leg into the MOBA genre, and the MOBA genre is an oversaturated market that all the power fantasies that you could possibly want are already in some other MOBA like Dota, League, or Smite. And Overwatch does not fill that niche very well. And yes, it has shooter elements, but the shooter elements don't really. The point of view of the camera doesn't really change the power fantasy to that you're trying to live, right? And I feel like that's where Overwatch. I don't know if that. I'm not saying it is definitively. It's just a subjective point of view, but I feel like that's where Overwatch fucking fails. And its objective style gameplay isn't even that fun. It's actually kind of boring, honestly. The objective style gameplay it's got on paper its game modes are very similar to a game to Splatoon 3, like Splatoon 3, Splatoon 2, Splatoon 1. But those games are significantly more fun when it comes to objectives, like tower control versus whatever that robot game mode in Overwatch is called, which is essentially the same game mode, tower control, and that tower control feels significantly more fun than the Overwatch one. That's just because Splatoon 3 is a more fast-paced game and a significantly more balanced game. I think the balancing of Splatoon 3 is actually a detriment to it because it's too balanced, but that's a completely separate tangent, and I feel like I've already wasted enough of your time. I felt like I wasted like 5 minutes of your time.